Shalom, 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 my social media family. I'm Sharon, and this is Office Hours with Sharon. Thank you for joining me this evening. Going to give you all a moment to come on in, come on in, come on in. And we're going to talk about the truth about relationships tonight. Relationships are lack of a better word, a tricky topic to maneuver, let alone the actual relationship. And so there's some things as a therapist that I know, many things that I would like to share with you because I consider Office Hours with Sharon an information empowerment session that we have every week, Thursday at 8 p.m. So you can ask me your questions about all things mental health, behavioral health, emotional well-being, which includes trauma, addiction, self regulation, anger management, just a host of things, all things relationships. And that just doesn't mean intimate partner relationships. That means all relationships, any type of human interaction, relation that we can have with another person, such as a parent child, employee employer, friendship, all types of relationships. And of course, intimate partner relationships, such as marriage. So that's what we're going to talk about tonight. Well, that's what my topic is tonight, but you can ask me anything because this is a platform for you. That's why it's called Office Hours with Sharon, where you bring your questions to me and I'll answer them as best I can. And if I don't have an answer, I'll find the answer and hopefully bring it back to the next live show. And again, Office Hours with Sharon broadcasts live 8 p.m. every Thursday. And I'll have guests on who have expertise in certain areas that you ask questions about also. So that's coming down the line. This is just, I think, the second live episode of Office Hours with Sharon. So it's a brand new show. We're airing live on TikTok, Facebook, and YouTube. So if you're watching live, let me know your name, where you're hailing from, so I can shout you out. And if you choose not to do so, that's fine too. As long as you're watching and gathering and taking in the information, that is what is necessary. But I like to create engagement in the show by you asking questions or making comments in the chat so we can engage back and forth. And also, too, that helps the algorithm for this information, this show, to get out in front of more people, because we don't want to keep all of this great and wonderful information to ourselves. We want it to get out to everyone. There's so much stuff on social media that's, quite frankly, nonsense. Right. So why not get the good stuff out that will help us live better lives as well? So I hope that you engage with me by putting certain things in the chat, even just making comments, because that helps. I'm learning TikTok. This is on my third week on TikTok, so I'm learning. And it says encourage people to say something or different things like that. So I'm going to follow the instructions because that's what creates engagement. So as I speak, feel free to say something in the chat. And now, all transparency, TikTok screen is quite small. So I have much more difficulty seeing that screen. I'm operating off of two cameras. If you see me, my eyes darting back and forth, it's because I have two cameras. And as you all know who have been on TikTok forever, when you're live, the comments, questions, names, whatever it is, it comes up and I'm on the mobile phone. And so it's very small. And with these older eyes, it's quite difficult for me to see sometimes. So I see that people have joined. I think it says Shay joined. Hi, Shay. And I believe that's Kiana. Hi, Kiana. How are you? Thank you for joining me this evening. And I see someone with the Pegs has joined. Renee has joined. Thank you for joining. Thank you for coming with me and joining me with Office Hours with Sharon tonight, an information empowerment session. Even though the topic is the truth about relationships, ask me anything. I am a licensed professional counselor, a licensed clinician, and I am a therapist. And I won't be your therapist, but I am a therapist, so I have a lot of information to share. And I want you to be empowered to learn and understand your own psychology, because when you understand your own psychology, you understand others without even knowing their history. Because we all operate similarly. It's human psychology. It's not Sharon, John, Sue psychology. It's human psychology. And so we understand ourselves better in how we show up or don't show up in relationships because of our history, Everybody brings a history to the table. Everybody brings unhealed wounds, baggage, maybe trauma, all that stuff we bring to every interaction. And how that shows up in each interaction, you may not be aware of. And again, because you didn't study it. So things that I didn't study, I'm not aware of that either. So this platform is being used because everybody's not going to go to therapy to be educated about your own humanity, your own psychology, your own mental health, and how it manifests itself in your everyday walk in life. So again, if you have any questions or comments, just put them in the chat. Excuse me, I'm dealing with a little sore throat. I even have a lozenge in my mouth, which I probably shouldn't because I'm talking, but it's kind of small. But I need it to stop coughing. So if I'm going to not cough the whole time, I need to have it in there. So if I sound a little funny, it's because of the sore throat and the lozenge in my mouth. All right. So some information about relationships to start us off. Oftentimes, when people get into relationships of any kind, they're not really thinking and being intentional about how they're showing up in these relationships. It's just that I'm here, you're here. Hey, let's make it work. Hope it's wonderful. I hope it's great. Right? And expecting everything to just be wonderful just because we both showed up. But the truth about it is, when you go to bring yourself to any relationship, now the relationship is broken. Now the relationship is flawed. As well as when that other person showed up, now the relationship is flawed and broken. Why? Because we're both flawed, broken human beings. So we're going to have a flawed, broken relationship. No relationship is going to be 100% perfect. That will never, ever, ever, and you can say how many evers you want, happen. So we need to wrap our minds around that fact that no relationship, while we are in these human bodies, will ever be 100% perfect. And dare I say, not even close to 100%. Because we bring so much of our flawed humanity to the table. And because of that, our issues show up with us. And then our issues begin to clash. Let's see, someone else is watching. I can't really see that. It says Mr. Lockhart, maybe. Thank you for joining me, Mr. Lockhart, on TikTok. So whenever you show up to a meeting, whenever you show up to your relationship with your spouse or your child, whenever you show up, wherever you show up, now the relationship is flawed. And it's not just you. When that other person shows up as well, the relationship is a flawed relationship. So don't be scared. Don't be scared. That's what's supposed to happen. And it's okay. Give yourself permission to be okay in a flawed relationship, because all relationships are flawed. So we just have to, come in with that baseline that this is going to be a flawed relationship. Now, should I expect things to go well? I can expect that. But what I also too have to understand is I have a part to play in what goes well. I can't just expect the other person in this relationship to do all the work or to be so great and wonderful and make these changes that I want them to make so it'll be better. I have to show up in the same way that I'm asking this other person to show up in this relationship. And they want us to show up a certain way as well. So now there's a give and take. But there should be a mutuality of, if we want this thing to work, we have to come together as a team, right? And that's different. A team approach, even if you think about sports, a team approach is different, say basketball versus golf. Golf is an individual sport. Basketball is a team sport. Well, you can't play golf like you play basketball like you play golf. If the person who plays golf now goes to play basketball and they keep the ball to themselves, and they're not going to be on that team that long, because you have to share. You have to compromise. You have to give up the ball. You have to sacrifice, even though it looks like I can make this shot, but maybe that person has a better angle and can maybe make the shot better than me. So I can't hog the ball. So in the relationships, we want to hog the ball. We want it our way. And unfortunately, when we don't get our way over time enough, or we just get tired, of the compromise or it not going our way, so many things, then we want to give up and throw in the towel. But you know, the truth about that is you're going to take that same mentality to the next relationship, and the same thing is going to happen. You're going to get tired of the compromise, of the sacrifice, of the work. Relationships are work. And then you're going to leave that relationship. And you're going to do the same thing over and over and over because it doesn't change. Because you take you wherever you go. And no matter who you're with, they're flawed and broken as well. Might be different issues, but flawed and broken is flawed and broken. So that other person might not do this, but they're going to do that. They're still going to do something that you're going to have to put up with, that you're not going to like, that you're going to have to sacrifice, compromise, all those things. So we have to mature and recognize that relationships, especially when we're talking intimate partner relationships, that's for mature people. And if you haven't matured to a point where you understand that being in a relationship is a selfless thing, especially a marriage, you have to be selfless, not selfish. If you're single, have at it. You can be as selfish as you want. Go where you want, when you want, how you want, do whatever you want. There's nothing wrong with that. You're single. You're free to do so. But oftentimes people come into a relationship, and it's a long-term relationship or a marriage, with a single mindset. And this is just not thinking, not so much, oh my God, she's a horrible person. They came into the relationship, intentionally with a single mindset. No, it's not something that's thought about. And then when we get into the marriage, and then we see things not going according to plan, my own plan, not even the other person's plan or our plan together. It's like, wait a minute, what is this? I just want to go out with my friends, but this is a marriage. And if your mate would like to stay home with you, it's not that you can't ever go out with your friends, but we need to check in with our mates. Just like the mate should check in with me, I should check in with my mate and not assume that Friday night I'm going out with the girls or I'm going out with the boys. That's not what you do in a relationship, not a healthy relationship. You can do it, but it's going to be unhealthy and it's probably lead to other problems down the line. Just walking out willy-nilly and making plans without your partner included, at least in the decision-making part of that. Now, I know, for some people, this modern day relationships, this might not be for you, but I'm talking about healthy relationships. And again, from a therapist perspective, and how you have the healthiest relationship. And that involves healthy communication, not so much control or dictatorship or anything like that. It's a checking in. It's keeping the lines of communication open so there's no problems down the line. That's all that's about. And also, too, being respectful. When you're in a relationship, you need to be respectful of the other person you're in a relationship with. Even if you're a parent, you need to be respectful of that child. I know that sounds foreign to some parents, but you need to be respectful of that child. Does not mean that you're not the leader. Does not mean that you're not the parent. It does not mean that you're not in control. You want respect, but you need to give respect as well. And sometimes how parents talk to their children is disrespectful. So not only does it work the other way, where children talk to their parents disrespectfully, yes, we know that, but parents do it too. And oftentimes, that's where the child gets it from. But the parents aren't realizing, well, the child is just imitating you. So if you want something different, do something different. Show your child something different. Let's stop the hypocritical parenting. Expecting your child to do one thing, but you are not doing it. That's old school. Truth be told, old school parents were hypocritical. And I'm generalizing here, right? All those of us who have some age on us, we know, right? It was do what we say, not what we do. Mommy and daddy smoke, but you shouldn't smoke. Well, isn't that hypocritical when you think about it, right? And it's a different breed of kids today. I do therapy with kids and adults. It's a different breed of kids today. They're calling out their parents on their hypocrisy, right? Now, in my day, I wouldn't even be living to tell you if I called my parents out on their hypocrisy growing up. Y'all know Put in the chat if you know what I'm talking about. Say, I know what you're talking about. I got old school parents, right? And you may even be an old school parent because you were raised by old school parents. And so one of the things that I see as a therapist that's so complicated for parents and kids today is we have old school parents, and these are the younger parents, but they were raised by old school parents. So they have old school parenting ways, but they got this new generation of kids, and that clash. The old school parents don't understand this mental health and this disrespect and just all the things that we know kids do today. And if we had done it, again, we wouldn't be around to talk about it, right? We know, so we lived it. I lived it. Tell the truth is shame the devil, right? So parents, I know it is challenging for you, but when you think about it, even think about your own childhood, what you didn't like that your parents did. Why are we repeating those negative generational patterns? If you didn't like it when your parents did it, your kids probably won't like it either. So don't do it. Keep the good, discard the bad, right? Now, again, living up to what we preach is hard, but it's necessary because being the example in how we behave is the best example for your child to then do what it is you want them to do. Now, is it a guarantee? Absolutely not. The child has their own mind, but more so than just saying it and you're not doing it, that's not going to work out so well. So being the example, making that sacrifice of like, I'm telling my kids not to do this. I need to work. I need to stop first. So check your own selves, parents, before you check your children. I don't say before you check your children, but make sure you're checking yourselves and let them know, listen, I'm telling you to do this, but I'm working on it too. You know, I'm a work in progress just like you are. Just because I'm older and I'm a parent doesn't mean I can do it all right, because I don't. Be honest with them. This is hard for me too, but we're in this together. We can do it together. So be honest with your children. Walk them through it with you to help them. And as you help them, you're helping yourself. And now the young people are saying like, yeah, you know what? We can do this together. Mommy and daddy, they're trying too. If they're trying, I can try. They're not just pointing me out as the one, the troubled one, the one with the issues, the one who does this. No, we all have stuff. So let's work on our stuff together. Same thing in a marriage or couple relationship. Let's stop being in denial of what our issues are. One, we have to know we have the issues and just being alive and a human being, know you have issues. But also, two, what are my issues? And how are they showing up in this relationship? Because it's showing up in every relationship. You just might not know how. Because again, you didn't study this. And of course, that would be the reason. And maybe you haven't gone to therapy and learned how that trauma is showing up in this relationship, how that unhealed wound is showing up, how that addiction is showing up. Even if I'm in recovery 20 years, how is it showing up still in my relationships? This is what we need to understand about ourselves better, so our relationships can be better. If you have any questions about anything I'm saying, please put the questions in the chat. Let me see here. I don't see any questions. TikTok, bear with me. I have to put my face up to the screen because the writing is so small. I see people are watching and I thank you, but I just can't see the names for everybody. One looks like Brink or Brick, something like that. And the other is who I said is just a little bit too small. I think I said Abdullah. I think I see that. Thank you for joining. And Mariana, thank you for joining, Mariana. I wonder if that's my Mariana. Can't tell by the icon. But if you have any questions, Mr. Locklear, thank you for joining. So yeah, put your questions in the chat. And also too, if you have any wisdom, share the wisdom about relationships that you've experienced or that you're currently experiencing, something that's gone well for you, something that you've learned maybe through your experience. I used to do this, but now I do this because I've learned. Share your wisdom so we can share it with others, because it's not, again, just about what I have to say. Yes, I have the expertise in this area, but you have an expertise of experience as well. And if you also have a background in these things, so please share. So that's one of the truths. I said many things about relationships. We bring ourselves to the table. Excuse me. We bring a flawed person to the table. Therefore, we bring we have a flawed relationship. Every relationship. Just baseline it. No matter who I meet today, No matter who I come into relationship with today, it's going to be a flawed relationship. But that's okay. It is okay because it's facts. It's total fact. And when we operate out of hope and idealism that fact is going to change, now we're in this relationship behind the eight ball already, because we're going to operate out of an ideal mindset. And so we're going to hold someone to a standard that doesn't exist. And maybe you to hold ourselves to a standard that doesn't exist. And that's a recipe for disaster. So just understand, we come together, and together we have a flawed relationship, and it's okay. But how can we get better from here together? So when we bring our histories, as we all do, to the table, there's many things that happen. Our issues clash, as I said before, but we don't know it. We think, oh, that other person's just doing that to make me angry or whatever. It's just our issues clashing. However I was raised, however you were raised, we're bringing that to the table. And men and women think totally different if we're talking a male-female relationship. And so one, we're bringing a male mind, another, we're bringing a female mind. And the two clash naturally because we think very differently. But we have to make space for that. We have to make room for, this person doesn't think like me, and it's okay. It is okay. Stop trying to make the other person be like you, think like you, behave like you. That's not how they were created. They were created to behave the way they behave. Yes, can we both come to the table and modify our behavior and do some things better and compromise as a couple? Absolutely. But expect a man to be a man and a woman to be a woman, because that's what you're going to get. So in our coming together, and when our histories come together, our histories come to bear on that relationship. And when our histories bear on that relationship, it comes out through our actions, through our words, through our emotions, through our behavior, our speech, communication, everything. And sometimes it's not pretty. But then that's because we're not intentional about all of those things that I just mentioned. I'm just being emotional. I'm just reacting because I feel, I react. You said this, I felt this way, I reacted. Boom. But unless it's a crisis, we don't have to react right away. We can take a moment, think, and then respond accordingly. But now that takes intentionality. But if I want the healthiest relationship possible, I will operate out of intentionality, knowing that what I say out of my mouth, my words have power, and they can be used as a weapon. Do I really want to weaponize my words, use my words as a weapon with people who I say I love and care about? When I think about it, no. But have I done it? Yes. Do we do it often? Yes. But that's not the look that we want. Not with people who we care about. But it's happening constantly because we're not thinking. We're just reacting. And therefore, we can't give a proper response. It's that we felt that emotion and we react. Boom. There you go. But now the bomb was lit. Now, of course, you can apologize, but the bomb was lit already. The damage has been done. Now that person has to go through a healing process because of that weapon, those words that were used as a weapon. Now they have to heal from that. And each person is different. So how long will that take? Each person is different. So now you're trying to heal from the weaponized words that I use, and I'm expecting you just to move on because I apologize. It doesn't work like that. Healing takes time. And we have to give that person enough time to heal for the damage that we've caused. But again, we want to, oh, you should be over that by now. Stop telling people to get over it. Whatever it is, stop telling people to get over it. We all have a different path to take to get over our stuff. And it's not easy to get over emotional trauma. A lot of things that involve words that damage us, that's emotional trauma. It's not easy. People go to their graves with emotional trauma from childhood. and have unsuccessful relationships throughout their lives because of emotional trauma. Those words that were used in my childhood that damaged me. And parents and whomever else spoke those words didn't even know that that's what they were doing because they didn't understand how powerful their words were. And now this person is scarred, potentially for life if they don't get help and heal. And they take those same scars into their relationship and possibly doing the same thing, repeating that generational pattern of emotional trauma because of the words that they use. Parents, be very careful. Be very mindful of the words you use when you're raising your children. It is key to their emotional and mental development that you use words that are caring, that are kind, that are loving. You can still discipline and be firm, but you don't have to berate. You don't have to be profane or use profanity. Those words are a choice. And a lot of times the words that we use come out of our own pain or how we were raised. Hey, it worked for us. Well, did it really? I mean, yeah, you're still here and living, but you're hurting someone else with the same words. So did it really work for you? Because there's still some residual anger or resentment or bitterness, depending on how far, it went with you. And it's coming out in how you parent your children now, coming out in your intimate partner relationship now, coming out in your friendship, what type of friend you are now. So did it really work for you? These are the things that we're not thinking about because we're not understanding the nuances of how words affect us deeply, profoundly. The Bible says death and life are in the power of the tongue. That means you can cause death, destruction with your tongue, or you can contribute to life when you speak. Both of them. The tongue has the power to do both. Let's not be destructive with anyone with the words that we speak. Take a moment. Think first. Would I want someone to say this to me, what I'm about to say out of my mouth? And if the answer is no, don't say it. Would I want someone to come back at me with this tone that I feel rising up in me that's going to come off on these words I'm about to say? We all been there, done that, myself included. No, I wouldn't want someone to have that tone with me. I'm not going to have it with you because I'm going to be the example of how I want to be treated. So if I want to be treated this way, I'm going to treat you that way because I'm going to show you how I want to be treated by how I treat you. That's the example. That's how we show how we want to be treated and showing the other person. This is how it's done. We can be angry, like the Bible says, be angry and sin not. I can be angry, but I don't have to be mean and angry. I can just say, you know what, I'm angry because of whatever the reason I'm angry. I just said it. My tone of voice didn't change. My energy wasn't through the roof. My emotions didn't rise. I just said, I'm angry. So by me telling you I'm angry because of what just happened, I'm calm, but I'm angry. And letting you know. We can do that. I can manage how I'm feeling. I can't control how I'm feeling, but I can manage it. I'm not going to allow this anger, this frustration, this bitterness, this resentment, whatever the words are, I'm not going to allow it to dictate how I communicate with you because I care about you that much in this relationship that we have. I care about you that much. I don't want to scar you because I'm scarred. I don't want to hurt you because I'm hurt. You know the saying, hurt people, and it's true. Not everybody, but we know it does happen. We don't want to be that person. And if you find yourself in that place where I don't feel like I can manage it, then get into therapy, get some help for that. It's okay. And sometimes some things are bigger than us and we can't do the self-help. But it's okay. That's why therapists are there. Find a therapist to help with those unhealed wounds, those scars of childhood or adulthood, those traumas, because it's manifesting in all of our relationships. And it's to the demise of our relationship too many times. We just don't know that that's what's happening. But we do have control over that if we say, you know what, I want to do better. I want to be better. I want to show up better, but I need help doing it. Ooh, I'm going to find a therapist. And couples, find a therapist. Doing this hard work, being in a relationship with another person, especially men and women who think totally differently. Like, that's major, right? So sometimes we need to submit to someone else who has an expertise in that area. It can help you. It can absolutely help you. Don't ever think you are too big and too great and too wonderful to submit to counseling. Again, we're all broken and flawed. We all need help. Everybody needs a therapist. I'm a therapist with a therapist. We all need help. We all need to run things by someone sometimes, and we don't want people who know us and who are emotionally attached to us, because then they give us back a lot of times emotionalism and not wisdom. They give us back judgment. We don't want to be judged. We want a safe place, and we don't want to hear it somewhere else. We want to be confidential in a safe space where we're not judged. That's what counseling gives you, plus the expertise of how to heal from those wounds and what to do differently, and developing coping skills, and how to not react, and how to respond versus react. All of these things and more, and everything that I'm talking about, you learn in therapy, is a beautiful thing. We would have better relationships if everyone was to submit themselves to therapy, individually, couples, families. We all need it, because anytime we come in contact with another person in a relationship, one-on-one, family, then all these personalities are clashing. All these personalities are going wild, right? It's like, what? How do we do this? But there is a way, but you won't know the way because you didn't go to school and learn this. And that's understandable. And that's how it should be. I don't know about auto mechanics because I didn't go to school for it. But that person who went to school for it, they know all about it. So let me take my car to the auto mechanic instead of trying to figure it out myself and breaking the car even more, right? So stop breaking your relationships even more and submit yourself to counseling, and recognize, and not be too big, too grand, too haughty in your mind that I'm good. No, you're not. No, you're not. You're not that good, because none of us are. Not shaming anybody, myself included. None of us are that good. We all have issues. I see Dexter joined us. Thank you, Dexter. Anye, hey, Anye. Dexter Anye has joined. Let's see if anybody else has joined. Frankie, hi, Frankie. And to some people, if I don't shout you out, I can't see the names, because some names come up dark, some names come up light. I don't know the difference. I'm new to TikTok, so bear with me. I think it's Matthew. Hi, Matthew. Thank you for joining. So those are some initial things that I wanted to share with you about relationships. Again, flawed from the beginning. If you show up, the relationship is flawed. That other person shows up, the relationship is flawed. Two people, you're a flawed individual. Wherever you show up, it's going to be a flawed meeting now because you showed up to the meeting. But because that other person showed up too. So let's not expect perfection. Let's just expect ourselves to do better. I want to be better today than yesterday. Right? I want to recognize how I'm showing up in each interaction, each relationship, the words I say out of my mouth. I got to be mindful. I got to be intentional. I don't want to harm people with my words. And if someone says something to me that's harmful, I don't have to match energy for energy. And that's why I said knowing human psychology is so good when you learn it, because sometimes, especially when you haven't done anything and somebody's coming at you sideways, that's not even about you. Because they're coming at somebody else sideways. That's their issues talking in that moment. Don't be offended. Don't take it personally. Recognize, I didn't even do anything. That's their stuff. So I'm not going to match energy for energy. You know what? I'm going to rise above how I feel in this moment, because you did, maybe, develop a little anger right there. Like, what? What'd you say? But you know what? That wasn't about me. Let me rise above this anger. This is how you manage it. You felt it, because you can't control how you feel. But you know what? I can manage that anger. I'm going to take a moment right here, do a little deep breathing in this moment. Just take a few seconds. And now I'm going to give that person something that they didn't give me. I'm not going to match what they gave. Because sometimes people are trying to goad you into that fight. I see that afar off, not giving into that. Basically, I see you, devil, trying to operate through this person. I know your tactics. I'm not giving in. I'm rising above that, managing how I feel, and I'm going to give you something back that you're going to walk away from this interaction with me better than when you came into this interaction with me, because you came in with malice. You came in with some evil intent, but I didn't feed into it because I saw it. And so maybe I gave you a word of encouragement, or maybe I asked, hey, is something wrong? I noticed that you sound a little bit different this morning, right? So now I'm asking and trying to solicit information. If this person wants to talk, say, I'm here if you want to talk about something. Just disarm that person expecting you to give them a fight because they brought fight to the table. My hands are up. I'm not trying to fight. What's going on? How can I help you? This is not, how you want me to start the day. What's up? Anything. Don't match energy for energy. It doesn't work. It's just a downward spiral. It's not a good look. That's not the look that you want, especially as believers, because we're supposed to show forth Christ 24/7, 365, everything that we do. So we don't get into these sparring matches. It's unhealthy. No matter who it's with, it's unhealthy. So remember, you can manage how you feel. Can't control it. You're going to feel how you feel, and all emotions are valid. All of them, even the ones that make us feel the worst, they're valid. God doesn't create anything that's not good. So all of our emotions are good. We should feel the way we feel. But it's what we do with those feelings, those emotions, after they happen, after we experience them. That is where the problem could come in. If I react to them in a negative way, if I react to how I'm feeling in a negative way, now that's where the be angry and sin not. That's where the sin came in. I just gave in to the anger and cussed that person out, or slapped that person, or threw my cell phone and damaged the property, whatever it is. It's a choice. So let's make better choices in how we manage how we feel when we're interacting with one another. We have the power to do it. We just have to take it and not allow our emotions to rule us. Do you want your emotions to rule you? No. And do you want another person to control you? Absolutely not. But that's what's happening. When that person says something and it gets to you, you're allowing that person to have power over you when you react versus respond. Whether you know it or not, that person just controlled how you behave. You don't want that. You want to be in control as best you can. Manage how you feel. Just take a moment. Sharon, don't say that. That's not going to be a good look. And now I respond. That's what I was saying in my head. Right? Self-talk goes a long way. Or I'm in my head, Holy Spirit, speak through me. I don't want to say what's on my tongue. Help me, Lord. These are the things that I say in my head. I take that moment. So I don't have to react right away. This is not a crisis. Somebody just said something, a foul, and now I'm mad, but okay. Help me, Jesus. And now I respond because I've implored the help of Jesus to tame my tongue in this moment. He'll help you if you ask and if you submit to the help. All right. So in relationships, we have to have enough grace for the other person. We want all the grace in the world for ourselves, but we don't want to give as much grace to our partners or our children or our friends, let's say, as we want for ourselves. Give me all the grace you can. I'm sorry. Give me another chance. Oh, give me another chance to get it right. We want all the grace. But how much grace do we give? If you're in a long-term relationship or marriage, grace and love need to abound. Grace after grace after grace after grace, like Jesus gives grace, like Jesus loves love, right? That agape, unconditional love, right? That's a hard feat, but if we're believers, that's what we're charged to do. So we have to give our kids and our mates and our friends, we have to give them grace. Now, that doesn't mean that we don't say what's wrong and that we don't say how I think or how can we come together for this to improve, for this not to happen again. I'm not saying that. But what I'm saying is Bottom line, like we started out today, we're dealing with a flawed, broken person who's going to show up to this relationship just like you, flawed and broken. So they're not going to get it right all the time. More than likely, most of the time, they're not. But where's the grace in the moment when I didn't get it right? Think about the moments where you wanted grace when you didn't get it right. Just have a flashback of what you need. And if you need it, give it to that other person. Anya says, this is so true. Thank you, Anya, for the comment. It is true. Because this is what's happening all the time. This is our humanity on display in every relationship. It can't not happen. When you show up, you happen. When they show up, they happen. It's a given. We have to stop living idealistically about our relationships and expecting this, I don't even know, this, I guess this Hollywood version, like you see these movies. No, it doesn't exist. It's not going to be perfection. It's never going to be perfection. It's probably not even going to be close to perfection. In these human bodies, it will never be perfect. So we have to be more realistic about our relationships and strive. That's the work. Strive to be better today than yesterday in our relationships. How am I showing up today? How do I want to show up differently today than yesterday? Okay, so that means I've got to mind what I say. Be mindful of the words that come out of my mouth. And whatever we know our issues are. If you know you have an anger issue, then you know that you have a propensity to be angry. So you know that's where you have to work. So when you do get angry, be mindful. Okay, let me compartmentalize this. Because this is not about her or him. This is something that I'm carrying from childhood. This is something that somebody cut me off in traffic on the way to work. And I'm mad, but I don't want to give it to my coworker. I got to compartmentalize that. I got to do some self-care around that. Okay, that moment is over. That person cut me off. But you know what? That person is cutting everybody off. This wasn't personal, right? So it's like, you know what? It wasn't personal. That person is just a bad driver having a moment, right? Have issues and, has a road rage issue. It's not about me. I want to leave that back there. But I have to talk to myself through this process. Like, yeah, that's right. That wasn't about me. Let me get rid of this anger. I'm not going to be angry. He's going about his business, not even thinking about me or she, right? Why am I holding on to this? Something that I didn't even cause. I don't want to hold on to this. You got to talk to yourself. Have that internal dialogue. Right. I don't have to carry this around. I'm carrying around his stuff or her stuff who cut me off and I don't even know them. Think about it. This is what we do. Now I'm coming home mad because so-and-so cut me off. That's his or her baggage that I'm carrying now. Like, what? I don't want that. I got enough of my own baggage, let alone picking up somebody else's. I'm not going to do that. But that's intentional living. That's recognizing, wait a minute. I'm feeling something here. This is not mine. I'm getting rid of it. Let me do what I need to do. Let me go work out. Let me go punch the punching bag. Let me do some deep breathing. Whatever it is, get rid of it. You have the power to get rid of it. And now you're not hurting people because you were offended, because you were hurt. You're not giving it to your spouse, your kids, your coworker, your boss. Displaced anger is what that's called. And we do that too often. But we got to be intentional. Otherwise, it'll keep happening all the time. So give the grace that you want in your relationships. Still talk about what needs to change and what needs to get better. But I want to give you grace. But now I should see that we should all be working on this too. It's not grace after grace after grace after grace, and you're not doing anything. Now that's different. And now we need to have a different conversation. But the grace is, I know you didn't get it right, but you're working on it. It takes time to get things right, to overcome our issues or to overcome our habits. But I see you working on it, so I can give you grace for that. But again, it's a different conversation if it's just grace and you're not doing anything because you're not trying to do anything. It's a different conversation. So discern the two. And the love. Long-term relationships, grace and love, like Jesus did, the ultimate example. We give up on relationships too soon, specifically marital relationships. That's why the divorce rate is over 50%, because I'm tired of giving you grace. I'm tired of loving you. I want it to be the way I want it to be, pretty much is the bottom line. And you're not who you were when I met you. Well, who is? I met you when I was 20. I'm 50 now. I hope I have changed. I met you when I was 30. I'm 50 now. We should change. That should be a part of the paradigm. That should be a part of our mindset. This person is not going to look the same. They're not going to think the same. They're not going to be the same in many ways. The longer that we're in a relationship, if they don't change, something is wrong. When you meet somebody as a teenager and they're still the same at 50, something is wrong. Because teenagers think like teenagers. And you're 30, 40, 50, like, hello, if you're still thinking like that and behaving like that, there's something wrong. We should change and evolve and mature as we get older, but we have to build in room for that in our relationships. And unfortunately, we don't. We're chasing that high from that beginning of that relationship where everything was so great and wonderful. We were infatuated with each other and wanted to be around each other all the time, and getting to know each other was great and wonderful. That only happens once in a relationship and during that honeymoon phase of the relationship. It's gone after that, never to return again with that individual. Now, you will have that same phase in a new relationship. But once that new relationship gets through that honeymoon phase, it will never happen again. But people are constantly chasing that and not understanding that will never happen again. I know you now. The beauty and the infatuation and the fun of it was getting to know you. A new person, likes and dislikes, and going through life together new. It's not new anymore. It's old now, right? So it's a different level of love, a different level of appreciation for who you are, who that person is, who we are as a couple. We need to appreciate the seasoned relationship. Too often we only appreciate the honeymoon phase, and now we want to throw in the towel. I mean, we may have stayed, 10, 15, 20 years, but it wasn't pretty. I didn't really want to be here. I'm just staying because I think I should. Or just waiting for a way out. But I'm not happy. This is old now. No matter who you with, if you're going to have a long-term relationship, it's going to get old at some point. And not long. It doesn't take long. After the first 6 to 9 months, it's old. And then people fall into who they really are. That's why you shouldn't do things too soon in a relationship, because people tend to put their best foot forward. And then after about 6 to 9 months, they settle into who they really are. And it's like, wait, what? Who is this person? Oh my gosh, now I'm emotionally attached to you. And God forbid we've had sex. Now we're sexually attached to each other. Right? We're spiritually attached to each other. Now it's harder to break up. I don't even like you, but I can't even break up with you now. I mean, I can technically, but it's hard. I want to, but I don't. I don't even like you, but I want to be with you. Like, this is the battle. This is the battle. We need to know and learn and understand people first before we get too involved with them, attached to them, and then creating these attachments. It matters. It goes into our decision making about that relationship, about that other person. We don't see things as clearly when our emotions are involved and when sex is involved. It happens all the time. You have a flashback over your own life if you've been there, done that. It clouds our judgment. Now, we can get out of it if we choose to, but our emotions oftentimes don't allow us to choose to get out. I'm just going to stay. That's just him. He'll get better. She'll get better. It'll get better when we get married. People think that the marital contract is going to change how a person behaves. That's just going to make them more of who they are, because it's just, now I'm with you, legally by the government standards, right? And so now I have certain rights in this relationship. But it didn't change who that person was, how they thought, how they felt, how they behaved. Now you're stuck with them through a contract. So don't think that a person is going to change who they are because they're married to you. It's not going to happen. It's not how it works. So when people show you who they are, believe them, as Maya Angelou said so eloquently. Judge people on their actions, not their words. People will say to you what they want you to hear. But the truth is in their nonverbal communication. The truth is in their actions. Because their actions are coming from the subconscious, and that's where the truth lies. All the stuff that you read on people's faces and on their body language, that's the truth. I can tell you what I want you to know or what I want you to think. I could tell you a lie, but I want you to believe it. But my body is telling you the truth. That's why you can look at somebody and say, they're not telling me the truth. You might not say it out loud, but you're thinking it because you discern that through their nonverbal communication. And it's very telling. So we need to be mindful of that honeymoon phase of relationship where our head is in the sky, right? It's like, okay, I got to come down to earth and make a decision. What happened on this date? What did he or she do right? What did he or she do wrong, so to speak, right? And that's how we live intentionally. Observe. Don't give too much too soon for this person you don't even know, because our emotions are involved and they're constantly going before us and attaching themselves to that other person. The more that person shares, the more attached to them I feel. The more I share, the more attached to them I feel. And again, it's all about feelings. That's dictating, right? But my brain, my logic needs to kick in and say, wait a minute. I saw this, and this. Red flags. Don't ignore the red flags. That's what we do. We ignore the red flags. Oh, that was just then. He won't do it again. She won't do it again. Oh, that was then. It'll be better. Constantly in denial about the things that we see. Then when we're on the other side of breakup or divorce, whatever, and you're sitting in my office, and we're talking about all the signs that were there. And I'm saying what happens typically all the time when I have these type of conversations with my clients. We can go through from the first date and the flags that were ignored, seen, but ignored. Because I like him, because I like her. Oh, she's so cute. He's fine. We're judging off of the wrong thing. But what did her actions say? What did his actions say? That's what we need to be mindful of. What are my actions saying? Because he's reading me too. She's reading me too. They're reading me too. Our words and our actions need to be congruent, lined up, be in sync, the same. And when they're incongruent, not the same, not in sync, the actions are the truth. The words are whatever the words are, what I want you to believe. So be mindful. That's what you want from others. Line your words up with your actions. Be congruent. And that's honesty right there. Be that honest individual. And sometimes this other person isn't, and it's okay to walk away. It is okay. It is permissible. It is necessary to walk away from some people. So be mindful of that honeymoon phase of a relationship. Only happens once in a relationship. You have to get into a new relationship for that to happen again. Now, can you try to keep the relationship spicy and all those things like that and romantic? Absolutely. But that honeymoon phase, that will never happen again. Stop chasing that. You'll constantly chase that and then constantly get into relationship after relationship after relationship to chase that. That speaks to something about you that's unhealthy in you. But now you might not be thinking that. You might be thinking, I just want to have fun. Or I just want that part of the relationship. Well, that's a commitment issue. If you only want the 6 months of a relationship and then you're moving on. But you said, I want to be with you. And now you're changing your mind. So that's dishonesty. And for whatever reason, dishonesty, commitment issues, etc. TikTok, I'm having to do this because of the times, if you saw my hand there, that's the reason why. But it happens. And we have to be mindful of that. You also have to be mindful, again, of the differences between men and women. So many differences. Everything is not because I'm just trying to make you mad. Some things it's just how women are, and some things are just how men are, and we need to make room for that. A lot of things are the differences between men and women. And that's a whole, maybe I'll do another show on that and just breaking those things down so you can realize, oh, that's okay. I get it. So as long as you like women, this is going to happen. As long as you like men, this is what's going to happen. Right? And it's okay. It is okay. All right. So making room for the changes, right? That people are not going to be the same the longer you're in relationship with them, right? Their bodies are going to change. How they think is going to change. How they look is going to change. Their face is going to change. So many things are going to change because as we get older, we change. And it's the way of life. It's the process of development. It should happen. It's not an anomaly. It's what should happen. But we have to make room for that. These are things that we're not thinking about when we're in a relationship. We're just thinking, oh, it's just going to be just like it is when we first meet. No, it's not. And I stress it because we have to come to grips with it because I hear it too often. People say, how come it wasn't like it was before? It's not supposed to be like it was before. You're not even the same as you were before, but you're expecting your mate to be like they were before. So many times I hear that. Well, I'm not doing anything differently, but when you break it down, you are. It's quick to judge the other person and not see our own selves and how we're showing up. And that's what therapy will do for you. It'll help you see how you're showing up. And then for the couple, how the couple individually is showing up within this relationship. And so now you know where to tweak. We know what is the couple issue, and we know what it is the individual's issue. So if I come together with a person, I have individual issues that I bring to the table. That person has individual issues, but then we create couple issues. So we have to discern what's my issue, what's your issue, and what are issues of the relationship. And oftentimes, a lot of it is our individual issues that we bring to the table, and now they're clashing, but we just don't know it because we don't understand our psychology. You know, understand how our issues are clashing in the moment of this relationship. But you can know if you submit yourself to therapy or ask me questions on this platform, and I will answer them for you. I don't see anybody asking any questions. I see Anya is still on. Dex might still be on. I don't see any questions. Just scrolling back here to make sure I didn't miss anyone. If I didn't say your name, please forgive me because I can't see everybody's name here on TikTok. I see it on Facebook and YouTube much easier. And I see numbers. I see Dre 22 White. I can see that one more clearly. And Carmina, I think that is. Welcome, welcome, welcome to Office Hours with Sharon. We were talking about the truth about relationships tonight. So I just gave you a whole bunch of gems, a whole bunch of nuggets. Hope you took some notes or are remembering some of the things that I said. Let me know if this was helpful. Just put in the chat, helpful. Just put that one word, helpful. And if you have any questions, real quick before we wind down here, we got a couple minutes left. You can also email me at Full Life Communications. That's the platform you're watching me on. Full Life Communications with an S at gmail.com, and put office hours in the chat. If you think of a question that you want to ask me, and I'll answer it on the next show. All things mental health, behavioral health, emotional wellness, relationships, addiction, trauma, all those things that come under the umbrella of mental health. And I will answer it on the next show. And if you have also too, I'm Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. I'm live. Good Morning God, and it's prayer. We go before God in prayer. If you have any prayer requests, send them to the same email address, fulllifecommunications@gmail.com, and put in the subject bar prayer. So I'll pray for you during that next live prayer. This coming Monday, Race Matters has a new season debut that comes on 8 o'clock this coming Monday. And Race Matters is everything involving race and how race affects our mental and emotional well-being. That's what we're going to talk about on Monday, race and mental health, but also too talking about some headline news that involves race so we can be aware, and also how the matters of race impact us on a daily basis. And so me and my two co-hosts will resume that show this coming Monday. And every Wednesday, Faith Walk, myself and my co-host Sandra host Faith Walk, 8 p.m. on Wednesdays, where we talk about how to walk out this faith walk with Jesus Christ. So we build community around connection, around our faith in Jesus Christ. And we come together and talk about how to walk this faith walk out. So those are the shows that I have airing right now. They are all live. So click the notification bell right now where you are. Click the notification bell and then click all, so you don't have to remember when I'm on. You'll just get the notification. Please like the video, share the video, subscribe to the channel or page, however you're watching, so my shows can get out to more eyeballs, because that's how the algorithm works. And also, too, if you say something in the chat, the algorithm picks it up, and if more people engage, so now they think, oh, this information must be good, this show must be good, we'll put it out to more people. So if you can, just put something in the chat right now. Say the show was helpful, say hi, say goodbye, say something to engage with me on the show to help the algorithm. Anya says helpful. Thank you, Anya. Love you. All right. So those were the things that I wanted to share with you this evening. I think I wrote down some bullet points, and I believe I talked about all the bullet points. Yeah, I talked about all of them. Not in the same order that I wrote them down, but that's okay. So I thank you for joining me tonight on Office Hours with Sharon. Hopefully I'll see you tomorrow morning for Good Morning God, and next Thursday for Office Hours with Sharon. Don't forget to send me an email if you have questions about anything regarding mental health. This time is for you to get your questions answered regarding mental health. We're living in perilous times. We're living in times where our mental health is being challenged. And that's one of the reasons the Lord has me to do this show, so people can come and find answers. It's not therapy for you, but it's empowerment for you, because information is power. And when you have this information, now you can do something with it because your awareness was raised. So this is for you. Take advantage of this free information that you can get by asking your questions to a practicing licensed therapist. And I'll do my best to give you what the Lord has for me to give to you. So thank you again for watching. Anya says, you're welcome. Love you too. All right. So thank you. Let me see. Let me check on TikTok. Okay. Thank you for, let's see, do this. Fatima. Thank you for joining, Fatima. All right, you guys, this is the end of the show. I hope it was helpful. I know TikTok doesn't do keep the replay, keep the lives. But if you want to go back and watch, say if you just joined, you can go back and watch on YouTube, Full Life Communications, because the shows always stay up on YouTube, and then you'll see all the other shows that I do, because all the shows air live on YouTube, Facebook, and TikTok, but TikTok doesn't keep them. So good night, everyone. Have a God evening. Have a God week. Have a God weekend. Be safe and be mindful of your tongue. What you say matters. Your words have power in every relationship. Parents, be mindful of the words you speak over your children. Your words have power with your seed. Your children are your seed. Be mindful of how you talk to your mate. Let's not damage our mates or hurt our mates because we're hurting. Get help, get therapy to heal from that hurt, so you're not giving out hurt. That's how it works. And it's okay. We all want to be healed and be better, but there's a way. We can't heal ourselves. We can do some things, but we can't heal ourselves with a lot of stuff that we've been through in life. It takes a trained professional to help you through that process. And it's okay. Give yourself permission that it is okay. And if you don't want anybody to know, they don't have to know. Don't tell them. It's your business. But put yourself first. Empower your own self and say, you know what? I want to get rid of this baggage. I'm tired of carrying around this weight that was actually placed on me from somebody else's hurt and damage. And they damaged me. I don't want to carry that around anymore. I want to get this weight up off of me. And I don't want to keep traumatizing my children and my mate, whomever, with this stuff that I'm carrying around. Enough is enough. I'm putting me first so I can be better for everybody else in my life. That's how you empower yourself. All right. I can have a whole nother hour, but I'm not. Thank you for joining me tonight. I love you, my social media family. Have a God evening. Have a God rest of the week. Be safe. Be intentional. Shalom.